And the goal is to identify different methods for paying for college, and through the help of online calculators, we're going to estimate potential costs for college. So, the most obvious one is savings. Obviously, this is common. Most of you already know that, but savings is a great way to pay for college. A lot of students will get jobs in high school and use that money to help pay for college, but you can start saving now. Even if it's just a little bit of whatever money you have, you can always put that away from college. That's a choice. And the earlier you start saving, the more money you'll have for college. Grants are a great choice for helping pay for college. They are issued by the government, and you don't have to pay back a grant. Grants are basically free money if you meet certain qualifications. So, a really well known grant is called the Pell Grant. You can look that up and see how much money that is. Additionally, grants.gov can help you find all the grants that are available. All you have to do is fill out some information like what you're interested in, what your status is, people in your household, all of that. And it will populate any grants that you can apply for. Scholarships. A scholarship is money awarded to you from a specific organization or university. There are thousands upon thousands of scholarships. So many scholarships. I'm going to show you just one website that's a scholarship finder in a second. There's hundreds of them. All you have to do is search scholarship finder, and there's hundreds of websites with thousands of scholarships on them. There's scholarships for being tall. There's scholarships for knowing interesting things. It's very, very... Some of them may be little scholarships, and you can add them together to make bigger amounts of money. Or from the university you may be applying to, you can get scholarships for your grades or sports or anything like that. Now, one thing I will say is more scholarships are awarded based on academics than sports. So, grades are very important. Even if you're hoping to get a sports scholarship, it's still really important to keep up your grades, because you never know if you're going to get an academic one as well, and you could end up with more money to help pay for college. Loans. What you need to remember about loans is loans have to be paid back with interest. There are lots of people who still have student debt that are still trying to pay back the loan with interest. You want to find the lowest interest rate you possibly can, and low interest rates tend to come from government loans. So the state government, there are Texas government student loans, and there are also federal government student loans. And when you fill out what's called a FAFSA when you're applying for college, they will also automatically populate with different options that would be available for you. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking out a loan. The majority of students will take out a college loan. But one thing you do need to consider is, if I have to take out a loan to pay for college, do I really want to be going to a private school that's charging me $70,000 a year when I could go to a public school that's maybe charging me half of that? So you really need to make sure you're taking in consideration, if you are taking out a loan, the lower the interest rate, the better. And you want to make sure that you're not over withdrawing, meaning you're not taking out more of a loan than you need to. Okay, estimating the cost of college. I just talked about 4 ways that you can pay for college and help pay for college. Let's try and estimate the cost of what I would need to pay. So the University of Texas has a financial aid calculator on their admissions website. I've also seen one for Texas Tech. I've seen one for Baylor. All you have to do is go ahead and just Google Baylor University Financial Aid, Texas Tech University Financial Aid, Texas A&M University Financial Aid, and I'm sure most of them have their own calculators. If not, you could always use this one and just to get a rough estimate. So the basis of this is you're going to start the estimate. You're going to have to fill out a couple of questions. So the date of birth, I don't know. Let's go ahead and go with the one it auto-populated. I am a U.S. resident. So I'm going to hit next. I am not on active duty. I do not have children. I am not, for this purpose, I'm not married. I'm pretending to be a college student. And I don't have my FAFSA at the moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit next. What is your parents' marital status? You could say married, remarried, single. So I'm going to stick with married or remarried. What's the size of your household? I'm going to say most people have 4 in their household. You could have more, you can have less. How many members are enrolled in college? Let's say 1. That would be me. I'm going to be the one enrolled in college. Okay, annual work income. So let's just go ahead and say that my parents are making, I don't know, $65,000 $1,000. Okay. And my second parent is not making any money. Okay. My parents hold cash in savings or checkings account. I don't know how much is in it, so I'm just going to I'll just close that and leave it blank. And my parents don't own a business. What is your annual work income? Let's say I don't have a job, so I'm going to say nothing. And what are your enrollments? I'm just researching. Okay. So these are all my inputs. I've put it all in. And now let's see your tuition and fees. Let's say I want to go into nursing. Here is my cost, $19,000. Direct cost, my tuition is going to be, net price would be $19,000. So the total cost is actually going to be $26,000. Tuition would be $12,000. Housing and food would be about $14,000. Indirect costs could be books, transportation, personal expenses. But look, based on whatever I input in for my parents' salary, I could end up with need-based aid. Like I mentioned before, there's the federal Pell Grants, state grants, institutional grants. I could even get scholarships, all these kinds of things. Merit aid would be a scholarship, but I don't have that. Now, if I go back to the calculator and you can adjust, let's say I adjust my parents' income. Let's raise it. Instead of 65,000, let's go with 90,000. And you'll see what it does to the tuition. So my tuition went up to 29,000 because I'm not getting as much need-based aid or anything like that. So it would be adjusted based on what your personal household income is and all of that. And you can talk to your parents about that. But this is just something that you can mess around with to get an estimate of what it's going to cost annually. So this is the year price. It's going to cost $29,934. That's very expensive. That's $30,000 a year. That's more than some cars. And then the total degree will cost me over $100,000. So it's just something to be aware of in planning for college and planning for the future. Now, this is without scholarships. Scholarships would come afterwards. That's that merit-based aid. So since if your parent salary is higher, you're not getting as much need-based aid. So that's where the scholarships come in. So we want to make sure that we are looking at the right scholarship. So this is one example of a scholarship finder I mentioned earlier, and I can search scholarships for whatever I'm interested in or anything like that. This is just populating by the deadline is the closest, so they're all in August at the moment. So Creative Life Scholarship, Defense Scholarship, if you're interested in go into law school, blood bank scholarship. There's all kinds of scholarships. You just have to look through them and figure out which one best fits your needs. And again, this is only one. If I go back, I can search other scholarship finders and there's multiple options. So these are all the things that, remember, scholarships are not going to have to be paid back. So you won't have to repay this money, but it would be a great way to lower whatever you're paying in that calculator.